Hello everyone, I'm Mike Reed.
And I'm Avery Thompson, and welcome to this week's edition of Leatherneck Insider.
Last weekend, the Western Illinois University women's basketball team looked to keep their winning streak alive as Summit League opponent Denver Pioneers traveled home for a two-game series. It was senior night this Saturday as Leathernecks honored lone senior Grace Gilmore. Elizabeth Luce drives the lane, gets the pass off to Danny Nichols, who gets that nice layup to go as Luce drills a three from beyond the arc. Senior Claire Britt hits a three of her own. Simba Malunga drives the lane and gets the layup to roll in. Anna Dietz gets that three to fall as they were hot from beyond the three as Sam Pryor hits a three of her own. Anna Dean gets that nice little jumper to go as Anna Jackson hits her first of many threes on the night for her. Evan Zars hits a jumper from the baseline as Anna Jackson hits another three, and then she comes back again, gets the pass, and drills another three from beyond the arc. Evan Zars works down low, gets that bucket to go in the post. Later on, she hits another one. Grace Gilmore drives the lane, gets that one off the glass, nice shot, as Danny Nichols hits that shot from beyond the arc. Anna Jackson again hits the deep three. This time, Megan Boyd joins in on the three-point action. Then Sam Pryor hits another three as the threes were definitely falling. Nice dish by Carla Flores to Grace Gilmore. And Grace Gilmore again gets that one get off the glass as Leathernecks win 90-82 against the Pioneers.
I was sobbing just because I felt all the love, and I was trying not to think about it like being my last game on this court, because then I knew I just would probably not be able to get it together. But before the game, I told our team that the best present I could ask for on senior night would be to get a home sweep for our last two games. So that was awesome.
I think our offense is just coming around in general, and it took a while. And I was, for a second, I thought, this is kind of the worst my team has played offensively maybe in my career. And then slowly but surely, we just kind of kept working. I still think, not to make excuses, but not being able to play open gym in the preseason summer, I think just really affects us, because that's such an important part of what we do offensively, is just learning to play together. And so I feel like our offense is coming around a little later than it normally does. I know we're down to our last weekend of the regular season here, but I love the improvement out of this team.
The Western Illinois men's basketball team hosted the Denver Pioneers in what is their final homestand of the season. The men's team is looking to keep their longest winning streak going since the 2012 season.
The Leathernecks honored lone senior Jake Wyrick prior to Saturday's game. Will Carius was the leading scorer for the Leathernecks, started the game off hot in his fadeaway jumper over Sam Hines. Then he powers his way through for a tough bucket over two Pioneers and shows off his shooting as he catches and shoots a three from Colton Sandage. Carius showed his versatility in both ends as he blocked a shot from Taylor Gatlin. Eric Monkhouse was able to keep the Pioneers in the game early and drives baseline for the nice finger roll. Monkhouse attacks the lane for a runner over Colton Sandage to end the lone run by Eric Monkhouse. He shows off his shooting with a three-pointer from Roscoe Eastman. Transfer forward Adam Anhel making his presence off the bench with an and-one bucket over Robert Jones. Anhel backs up Hines and finds an open Raheem Hinton at the top of the key for a three. The junior caps off his run with a baby hook over smaller Giovanni Bickham. The Pioneers looking to get some momentum and get back in this game. Kobe Lamb finds an open Robert Jones for the block for a two. Bickham drives the lane and finds an open Tristan Green from beyond the arc and hits a three of his own. This run didn't last long as Will Carius hits a wide open three in the corner to give him 21 for the night. Denver looked to push the tempo, but was altered as Cameron Burrell pokes the ball from Jace Townsend and gets the flush on the other end. The Leathernecks keep the winning streak alive as they win 82-75. The Leathernecks will travel to Oral Roberts February 27th to 28th to finish off Summit League play. Western Illinois golf team will get a break from the cold weather and snow this weekend as they travel south to begin their spring season.
The WIU will compete in the ASU Spring Kickoff in Prattville, Alabama. The men's team is defending champs of this event, beating out 7 other teams last season. This will be Western's first tournament in nearly a year due to the coronavirus pandemic. Despite the long layoff, the Leathernecks are ready to shake up the rust and hope to be in the running for a team title once again.
Sounds a little bit silly, but I'd just say, you can hang up your clubs for 6 months and it's like riding a bike. You know what you're doing. So I think, ultimately, if we spend quite a bit of time in the practice round learning the speed of the greens and doing shorter chips, the simulator, we can do longer wedges. So those yardages should all be pretty dialed in.
The nerves will probably be up again, which is going to feel great because we haven't felt them in so long. But just to go out there and play well and put our team in a position to win.
Leatherneck insider Brendan Reedy welcomes Leatherneck football head coach Jared Elliott. We'll be right back.
University. Our beginnings in 1902 focused on providing affordable teacher education training. We've changed with the times and excelled through the years. Today, Western is positioned for the next 100 years and beyond. Affordability of diverse academic programs, outstanding learning opportunities, and hands-on experiences provide excellent job placement for our graduates. This is Western, forever Western.
Your vision.
When I arrived at Western, I discovered the fields of recreation, park, and tourism administration.
Our mission.
My professors challenged me to develop new ideas and help me grow as a student and a person.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. Brendan Reedy had a chance to sit down with Western Illinois head football coach Jared Elliott. Let's hear what the coach had to say.
For joining us, Coach. What are you most excited for this upcoming season?
Well, we're just excited to be able to play football again. It's been a long time for, obviously our players and our staff. And so, our guys are just excited to go compete and play in a real game. And, we've been able to do a lot of practices over the fall and, as many as we've been able to with the weather the way it is here so far in the spring. But, again, our kids are just looking forward to going out and lining up against an opponent, not each other, and play football for the first time in over a year. So that's what it's all about, and I'm excited for our guys to get that opportunity.
And with each year brings new expectations. This year with this team, what are the goals you have for them?
Well, our goal is always to win and to compete, and obviously we've got, a very non-traditional season that we're about to start here in the spring, and it's going to be unique in a lot of ways. And, I've been really proud of our players and our team, just how we've handled adversity and just the constant every single day of just, being very comfortable, being uncomfortable. And, but the expectation is to go win and to play well. And we're going to go line up against another team, and there's going to be a scoreboard, and there's going to be a winner and a loser. And, at the end of the day, when we put the football down, it's football and nothing changes. And it doesn't matter when it's being played, right? In February, in September. So again, that's our expectation is to, our guys are excited about the opportunity to go to compete and play to win.
And you talk a lot about adversity. Obviously, there's been a lot of negatives to come with COVID-19, but have there been any positive things to come with the pandemic at all?
Well, I think that it's in some ways, I know it kind of sounds strange, but because, COVID has presented so many logistical things that you really have never had to think about in terms of, your guys aren't able to physically be together very often. So you naturally worry about the camaraderie of your team and how close that, they are, just because they're not eating together and they're not, hanging out together and outside of football, because, we've got to make sure that we're protecting our bubble. And, but having said that, I do think that this team is drawn closer just, when you're a part of a group and your identity is part of something bigger than you are, and you go through adversity, I think it just naturally draws, everyone closer together. And not only is our team trying to prepare to beat an opponent, but we've got to beat COVID and, to be able to have an opportunity to do that. And our guys have done that really well. We've had a couple hiccups, but our guys, because of that, I think there's been just a unity that, that it's kind of created. So that would be a positive.
And you talk a lot about your program's bubble and what you're doing to prevent COVID-19 outbreaks. How confident are you in the Missouri Valley's protocols to avoid any more cancellations the rest of the year and finish the year perfectly fine?
Well, I think it's just like anything in life, and it's the same with COVID. There's things that are, that you have control over, and there's things that are out of your control. And all we can do is try to control what we can control, and that's practicing all the measures and protocols that are in place. I think the Missouri Valley Conference has done an amazing job. Institutionally, I think our administration, from top to bottom, has done an amazing job. And, it's just trying to make sure that, your kids understand what's at stake, and you got to really take it seriously. And if you don't, then you can have outbreaks. So it's controlling all the things that we can control. And then we also know, Brendan, that with this pandemic, there's some things you can't control. And you just, again, you got to adapt and overcome and adjust with it. And so, but I do think that the handling of the conference and us here at Western and as an institution, we've got really good system in place, our testing measures and all those things to try to protect our players and our staff and our bubble. And so it's just, we got to continue to stay very diligent in doing that.
And we talked a lot about COVID-19, what you're doing to prevent it. Let's go back to the gridiron now. Which player do you see making a big jump from last season?
Well, there's a handful of guys I'm really excited to, see in live bullets and in a game scenario and situation. And, one guy that instantly comes to mind is our quarterback, Connor Sampson. He's a guy that has been in this program, and he's developed, and he was behind Sean McGuire, who obviously was a great player, but last year was his first year. It's so much different now, in a game than it is in practice, and especially at that position. And I think that now that Connor has a year under his belt, I'm so excited to see what he's going to do. He's grown in so many ways, not only as a player, but his leadership qualities, and just I've been so impressed with Connor. And then there are so many other guys. That I really am looking forward, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch them cut it loose and play. And we had a lot of guys that played football for the first time in meaningful reps in a game last year. And so there's always going to be a transition, and there's going to be, that experience is just so valuable. And so, we're going to see a lot of guys. One guy, though, is Connor Sampson. I'm really looking forward to seeing him lead our offense and our football team.
And you say each year is different, year in and year out. And with this year, there's limited capacity for fans. How much is that going to impact both games on the road and at home?
It won't impact it. At the end of the day, if there's 10 people in the stands or 100,000 people in the stands, as a player and as a competitor, you get in the zone, and once the ball's kicked off, you're playing football. Now, obviously, Brendan, when you go on the road in this league, there's some hostile environments that make it tough, and some domes and with noise and just communication when you're playing. So that's going to help us more than anything. But other than that, at the end of the day, again, when we put the ball down, football's football. And so in terms of, just capacity and, I don't think it'll be a major impact.
And we had a weird experience this year. This is the first time you have signing day as you're practicing for the regular season coming up in a few weeks. How excited are you with your signing day class this year?
I love our kids. We've got some great additions. Again, not only as players and guys that I think are going to be able to make an immediate impact for us and really be able to plug and play and help our football team in a lot of ways. But I really like just the quality of guys that join the locker room, and it's been a lot of fun to see how quickly those guys have built relationships with guys that were already here, and there was an instant connection with almost all of them. So I've been really pleased with this group. Most of them are already here with us. We went pretty transfer heavy and signed older guys, veteran players, guys that have experience, and so almost all those guys joined us mid-year, and so they've been with our guys practicing and preparing, and that's been a really neat thing for us as a staff to watch how these guys have developed in the short time they're here, not only as players and how they're going to help us on the field, but just with their teammates. It's been good.
Thanks for joining us, Coach, and thanks as always. I'm excited. Everyone here is excited, and Good luck this season.
Thanks, Brendan. Appreciate it, man.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thank you, Brendan. Coming up on Leatherneck Insider, Nick Grunwald talks about the newest additions to the men's basketball team with assistant coaches Chad Boudreau and Kyle Heikkinen. Along with him, I sit down with head baseball coach Andy Pasco to talk about last year's cancellation of the season due to COVID-19. Stay tuned for more.
Your vision.
I plan on working for an agricultural company and eventually running my family's farm.
Our mission.
My professors are invested in my success. Western helped me find an excellent internship with a leading agricultural company.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Taking me home, taking me home.
Here, I engineer the future.
Taking me home, bring me back.
Here, I have countless opportunities.
Taking me home, bring me back.
Here, I do research.
Right here at Western.
Welcome back to Leatherneck Insider. The Western Illinois men's basketball team has made new additions to their roster. For more, Nick Grunwald has the story.
3 players and 2 coaches transferred from Highland Community College to WIU. We sat down with coaches Boudreau and Heikkinen to discuss their season as well as the journey and how head coach Rob Jeter had an impact on their decision as well as the players.
Besides being close to home, it was the main reason that I'm here is Rob, him and I's relationship. I know he's a great coach, but he's a even better person, and he's a friend. He's not just like the guy I work for or a guy I work with. He's a good close friend of mine, and that's why, talking to Kyle, talking to the guys on the team at that time, it was an easy sell because life is about relationships, and that was a big draw for me to come down here.
The Leathernecks are currently on their longest win streak since the 2012-2013 season. Here's what Coach Heikkinen had to say.
I think you start to see some of the wrinkles starting to work themselves out. We've got 3 in a row now. Coach Jeter's, got these guys dialed in.
WIU looks to continue their winning streak as they take on Oral Roberts on February 27th. From Leatherneck Insider, I'm Nick Rimmel.
The Western Illinois baseball team will play their first game of the year after nearly 11 months of not having a season due to COVID-19. Last season, you got canceled in the middle of your season. What kind of impact did that have on you and the players?
Well, I think it definitely took a little bit of a toll on some guys' mental health. The whole pandemic in general really has across the board for people. But I think what it really did too, though, on the flip side of things, is it gave our guys a little more sense of for this season, and they've done a really good job ever since we were able to start going in the fall of just coming to the field, coming to practice every single day, with a good attitude and willingness to really get after it and work hard on the field, because they realized it was one of those things where they realized that things like this they can take baseball away from you really quick. In the blink of an eye, and they didn't want to lose sight of that, and they understood that, they gotta play every single day, almost like it's going to be their last, because it really could.
What was the most difficult thing about telling the players that their season was canceled, and then trying to keep them motivated to want to play again next season?
The hardest thing, honestly, was seeing the look in some of the seniors' eyes. Because when all the news first came out, we didn't know, what was going to happen as far as eligibility goes. Luckily the NCAA did the right thing and gave everybody a year of eligibility back. But when that first happened, the initial reaction was, it's done. That's it. And a lot of our guys, you could tell they got really emotional. So that was honestly the hardest part, is looking a lot of the seniors in the eyes and telling them, at that time, hey, your career's over. Luckily, within the next couple of days after that, the NCAA came out with the blanket waiver that everybody got the year back, and we're able to retain some seniors. But yeah, that was definitely the toughest part, because it's when somebody's career comes to an end, it's never easy, and for it to be that abrupt, it was tough.
How did COVID affect you as a coach?
Well, it definitely gave me a lot of time to reflect on what things were good last year, what things were bad. Obviously, we didn't have nearly the kind of start that we wanted last year, but it gave me a lot of time to reflect and move forward with a lot of different things. Definitely gave me a lot of time to read, that's for sure. A lot of house projects, but ultimately, when it's all said and done, it definitely gave me a lot of time to reflect on just a lot of different coaching things in general, and just gave me an opportunity to keep learning and learn a little more than usual.
So what is the hardest part of getting back into playing after not having like a full year?
I think the biggest thing that was a bit of a challenge is we got a little bit of a later start to the fall. So by the time we were able to practice fully as a team and scrimmage, it had been a good 7-8 months. So when as an athlete in general, especially in baseball, when you take a lot of that time off, it definitely takes a little time to kick off the rust. But I mean, it's going to be, I'm excited really, but it's going to be interesting to see how our guys go out and compete this upcoming weekend. I know our guys are really, really excited, but it'll be interesting to see after a bit of a layoff of just being able to go out and face a different team than who, just playing ourselves. I mean, it's definitely been a long 11 months, but it'll be interesting to see. It'll be fun to see, though.
What are you and your guys most excited for in this season?
Honestly, just the chance to play. I think that's the best way to describe it, because, like I said, to have your season abruptly ended, it's definitely something that you don't expect and you don't want for them. But I think just the opportunity to just get out there and play a game that everybody loves, I think that's what everybody's most looking forward to.
Kylie Rogers had the chance to talk to some transfer football players about the upcoming season. We will be right back with more information on Leatherneck Insider.
Your vision.
My goal is to work at a top 100 television station as a reporter, anchor, and a producer.
Our mission.
Thanks to Western, I have a resume that would beat out most students from the top journalism schools in the country.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Your vision.
As an economics major studying investment banking, I find the world of finance intriguing.
Our mission.
My professors are excellent, and they're preparing me for success in the business industry.
This is Western Illinois University.
I am a success story. I am a Leatherneck.
Western Illinois football team will finally get to take the field as they kick off their season at home. But before that, Leatherneck Insider reporter Kylie Rogers caught up with some transfer football players. Here's Kylie for more on the story.
Western Illinois football team is very transfer heavy this season. Players hope to use their experience and leadership to help the team reach full potential.
Different aspects that come into the game that not a lot of people understand, especially these younger guys. So just kind of taking some of that knowledge that I've learned through the years playing and try to pass it down to the rest of these younger guys.
For me, I'd say probably my leadership. I'm one of those kids that I'll do anything to get to work, and I wouldn't rather be anywhere but here playing football.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this team, and I'm excited about all the players, and I think that my attitude can really have an effect on the guys here. That some of these guys work really hard, and I kind of fit into that, and I want to get better every single day, and until then, that's what I'm going to be doing.
The best part about Western Illinois football is the family mentality the players share. Everyone welcomes one another with open arms. Western Illinois football is a home away from home for many of the players.
I like how
like the team is really together, and like how everybody is like clicking together and they cool with one another, and like it's like a family mentality there. And it's like a family vibe. So like everybody's just like real tight, and even with the coaches, it's just a different atmosphere. So I'll say that's one thing I really like about that, and coming here and being a part of that.
Since I got here, everyone's been extremely welcoming, and like I don't really think many teams in Division I football you can really just like bond with graduate transfers or senior players like I have here, and I just feel like there's not a single guy on the team that hasn't welcomed me, including the coaches. And you know, I really love the family environment. That's probably my favorite part about Western Illinois.
As the football season approaches, the team looks forward to finally getting back on the field with hopes of bringing a championship back to Western Illinois. At WIU, reporting for Leatherneck Insider, I'm Kylie Rogers.
Thank you, Kylie. Well, that's all the time we have here tonight. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram and like us on Facebook. We will be right back for another edition of the Leatherneck Insider in 2 weeks. I'm Mike Reed.
And I'm Avery Thompson. Thanks for watching and have a great night.